Modern cell phones have been around about 20 years or so. And in that time, we've gotten used to having a cell phone with us all the time. Today, I'm going to share a story about what it would be like if you didn't have your cell phone and you were about to get on a plane. Yes, I lost my phone on the way to the airport. Welcome to Everyday a New Thought. I'm Thor Challgren, and today I want to tell you a story about losing my phone on the way to the airport. This is an interesting story. It recently happened to me on my way to Anchorage, Alaska for the TEDx talk that I gave. And we've all had our phones probably 20 years or so since modern cell phones have come out. So we're used to having our phone all of the time. And in this particular instance, I'm on my way to the airport. My daughter is driving the car, so I'm in the passenger seat, and we're about to get on the highway, and my watch pings me and says, "Would you like to join the hotspot of her phone?" And I remember thinking, well, that's kind of weird. Why would I want to join her cell phone hotspot? Why wouldn't my watch just be on my own? And that's when it hit me. Maybe I don't have my phone with me. Maybe my phone is not in the car. Maybe it's at home. So we quickly called the phone and discovered that it wasn't answering. So we immediately got off the highway. And this is about maybe 2.5 hours before my flight. So I don't have a ton of time. And on the way back to the house, we're trying to figure out where it could be. And here's the first thing that's interesting to me. My mindset starts to think about the worst case scenario. What happens if I can't find my phone? And you get in those sort of situations, then it's easy to panic and start to wonder, what will I do? In this instance, while I was slightly panicked, I also started to problem solve and imagine, well, what would I do? Could I go without my phone if I can't find it? So at least I'm starting to think about what would happen if I can't find it. We get back home and my daughter is looking at her Find My Friend thing, and it shows my phone not at our home. It shows it on some weird place on a street. And at the time I'm thinking, well, that makes no sense. That must just be maybe where her phone last pinged my phone. And that's why it's saying it's in the middle of an intersection somewhere, because it was just an extremely odd place for it to be. So I get in the house, on my watch, I tap the little thing to make the noise on the phone, and I hear nothing, no sound at all. Now I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, and I'm starting to think about all the ways that this would be a severe inconvenience if I didn't have my phone, because I'm going up to Alaska. I'm going to need my phone to be able to communicate with people. If I don't have my phone, I can't take pictures, and I was hoping to be able to take pictures. And at the same time as I'm starting to freak out, I am also, again, problem solving a little bit. So the most immediate problem to me to solve was, how do I get on the airplane? Because also attached to my phone was my little wallet that magnetizes to the back of the phone and has my ID in it. So I realize I don't have my ID. I can't get through TSA without my driver's license. So what do? I go in the drawer and grab my passport. So now I at least know that I can get on the plane if I had to. I won't have any money because my credit card is in here, and I won't be able to communicate with people, but I do have my computer, so I could always, if I had to, email and that sort of thing. So part of what I was doing in that moment was anticipating, what would I do? Instead of giving over to fear completely, I'm starting to think about, how could I solve this problem? So I go back downstairs to my daughter and say, it's not in the house anywhere. And she's looking at this little map that says, well, it's saying it's on the road somewhere. So we drive back out to the place where it was. And we had already stopped there and kind of looked around and didn't see it. So I get out of the car again, and now I'm doing a more thorough search, because the map is really saying it's somewhere on this road, which again makes no sense. I look out on the road, I don't see it. I cross the street so that I can get a different vantage point. So this is a key lesson. Sometimes when the first time you're trying to find something, you can't see it from where you're looking. So change the location of where you're looking from. I go across the street and I look out into the street. And over there in the middle of the road, literally in the middle of the road, I see my phone lying face down. I cross the road, and this is a road with major traffic on it. I cross the road, pick up my phone, and look at it. And the little screen protector thing on it is cracked at the top edge. So clearly it had fallen and impacted on the top edge, but it looked like the phone was okay. I started to cross the street thinking, oh, everything's fine. My daughter reminded me about the little wallet. So I looked around for that. Sure enough, I found that. Piecing this all together, what we concluded was I had been anticipating that I would drive the car to the airport. And I don't know if you're like me, when I get in the car, I've got my phone out and I'll plug it in. So I have that sort of routine. Well, in this instance, my daughter offered to drive the car. So I'm a passenger. We realized what I did was I put my phone on the top of the car while I loaded things in the back. And it's sitting on the top of the car with the little wallet thing, which was probably just grippy enough that the phone sat on the roof of the car until we got to this one intersection where we accelerated and turned sharply at the turn signal. And that's when my phone flew off and crashed onto the pavement. Miraculously, not run over. Everything was in place, and we had plenty of time to get to the airport. So, takeaway from this. The good news was I found my phone. The even better news was that I realized that I had the right mindset. And this is one that I think we can take to all situations where maybe we're in some kind of challenge where it's easy for us to get into a panic state. And would I have found it if I was in a panic state? Maybe not. You know, it's a little bit like, have you ever had this situation where you're looking for something in the pantry and your mind says that it's not there, so you don't see it? But literally it is in there, but because your mind is telling you that it's not there, you can't see it. I think if I had been looking for the phone in that sort of panicked, worried state of, I'm going to miss my flight, what am I going to do? Like thinking of all the worst case scenarios, I don't know if I would have seen it. So my takeaway from this is next time you experience a problem like this, instead of being panicked oriented, which would be natural, be solution oriented. See this as a test and ask yourself, do I want to pass this test or do I want to fail? Of course, you want to pass. And my second piece of advice is never put your phone on top of your car. Just never do that. Thank you for watching the show today. I appreciate you being with me. And if you like the show, please hit like. If you are interested in receiving more of these shows every single day, please hit subscribe. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching.